Some people like to say that being gay is completely unnatural. The people who say this say it with such conviction, but really they're just showing how little they know about the natural world. Not only are there thousands of species that exhibit homosexual behaviour, but homosexual behaviour in animals is actually quite common. One report on sheep found that 8% of rams exhibited homosexual preferences, and this was even after they were given the choice of male or female partners. In fact, apparent homosexual individuals are known from all of the traditional domesticated species, from sheep, cattle and horses, to cats, dogs and budgies. Before we go any further, I'd just like to point out that the term homosexual shouldn't be used for animals. It was first coined by a Hungarian writer in 1868, and it was used to describe same-sex sexual attraction between humans. The terms gay and lesbian shouldn't be used for animals either, but as there are no words for same-sex sexual attraction between animals, I will be using these terms. The natural world is a lot more complicated than most people think, and gay partnerships are just the tip of the iceberg. Some species start off as male and transition into females, and some other species start their lives as females and then transition into males. Some animals don't even need a partner to reproduce, as they are able to reproduce asexually. This just goes to show how interesting and complicated the natural world can be, and I will be looking at just a few interesting creatures today. In this video I will be focusing on animals that swing both ways, as I will be going through 3 animals that are totally gay. And for our first group of animals we will be heading to the southern hemisphere, as we have the penguins. I'm sure most people you run into will be aware of what a penguin is, as they are the most famous group of aquatic flightless birds. They are most commonly associated with colder climates, but some species like to venture to South Africa and even the Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos penguin is the only penguin that's found north of the equator, and they seem to enjoy their life in the sun. Most penguins look like they're wearing a permanent tux, and this isn't just stylish, but it's actually a form of camouflage. This form of camouflage is known as counter shading, and it's also seen in orcas and great white sharks. When they are viewed from below, they blend in with the sky, and when they're viewed from above, they blend in with the depths. Penguins really are in need of good camouflage, as there are plenty of animals that will happily target them. They are popular prey for leopard seals and killer whales, and these really are some of the most frightening predators in the ocean. Penguins come in many different shapes and sizes, with the world's smallest penguin measuring only 30 centimeters tall, and the largest species can measure up to 1.2 meters tall. Wild emperor penguins are only found in Antarctica, and they breed and raise their young on ice. The bond between penguins is often very strong, as they often find a partner and stick with that partner for life. They both take it in turns to look after their eggs and chicks, and they are able to easily find each other after months apart. This kind of behaviour is relatively rare in the animal world, but it is most often seen with birds. Over the years there have been quite a few famous gay penguins, and quite a lot of them have become stars in zoos. Roy and Silo called New York's Central Park Zoo home, and they started their gay relationship all the way back in 1998. They would often perform mating rituals, and they even attempted to hatch a rock as if it were an egg. Ronnie and Reggie also got together in 2014, and these penguins called London Zoo home. They famously adopted an egg that was abandoned by another couple, and the pair shared parenting duties. Ronnie and Reggie successfully raised their chick, and eventually he left the nest. Amazingly, they weren't the only gay couple in their enclosure, as among the 91 penguins in London Zoo at the time, there were 2 other gay couples. This behaviour isn't only limited to penguins in captivity, as it's been observed in the wild since 1911. The explorer who first documented the behaviour described it as depraved, and the report was considered too shocking for public release. Unfortunately, for that reason it was suppressed, and the copies were made private and they were only viewable for researchers. Really, homosexual relationships between penguins are quite common, and we have known about it for over a century. Really, it only seems to be humans that have a problem with it, and we should really just let the gay penguins be. But for our next group of animals, we can head to both Asia and Africa, as our next gay animals are the elephants. Elephants are the largest existing land animals, and there are 3 species that are currently recognised. 2 of these species are African, and 1 of them is Asian. Not only are elephants very large creatures, but they are also very complex, and they are capable of feeling emotions that we only associate with humans. They are known to grieve the losses of other elephants, and are even known to exhibit joy, anger, compassion, and love. Unsurprisingly, as they are such complex creatures, they do have a variety of ways of communicating with each other. Not only do they make a variety of sounds, but they also communicate through body language, touch, and scent. They often touch each other with the most impressive part of their bodies, as their trunks contain 150,000 muscle units. These trunks are possibly the most sensitive organ found in any mammal, and the elephants use them to do almost everything. Unfortunately, it's almost impossible to talk about elephants without talking about the impact we've had on them, as they have almost been poached to extinction. Around 90% of African elephants have been wiped out in the past century, and as elephants get rarer, the price for their ivory goes up. It really is a shame that we treat such an intelligent creature this way, and hopefully things will change for the better in the future. Possibly one of the most interesting things about elephants is the fact that same-sex bonding is quite common. It's been documented in both African and Asian elephants, and it happens both in the wild and in captivity. The relationships between male elephants don't only involve mounting, as they often consist of affectionate interactions. This can be in the form of kissing or trunk intertwining, and in some cases they place their trunks in the other's mouths. Adult male elephants often live apart from their general herd, and this means life for them can be quite lonely. This is where some males form companionships, and they will start moving around together and interacting with each other. These sorts of relationships can last for years, and this kind of relationship is quite rare in the mammal world. Only around 3 to 5% of mammal species are truly monogamous, and most mammals take on multiple partners. The fact that these relationships can last for years is quite extraordinary, and they really are quite common. Same-sex relations with elephants are frequent in both sexes, and with Asian elephants in captivity, around 45% of sexual encounters are between two animals of the same sex. This goes to show that being a gay elephant really is quite common, and shockingly some of these gay elephants are found in countries where it's illegal to be gay. For our final species, we will be heading over to Japan, as we have the Japanese macaque. This primate also sometimes goes by the name of snow monkey, as they often have to deal with cold conditions. Japan has a very unique and interesting climate, as it's both very hot in the summer and extremely cold in the winter. Japan has one of the highest snowfalls of any country, but luckily these primates are able to deal with the cold. Famously, they like to bathe in hot springs in the winter, and this is the perfect way to deal with the freezing temperatures. Japanese macaques form very complicated relationships, and troops are usually led by the females. Mature males often venture off on their own, but they do return during the mating season. During this time, they will form a pair bond with their mate, and their relationships typically last around 16 days. Sometimes when males try to get the attention of females, not only are they ignored, but they are also rebuffed. This is because some female Japanese macaques are only interested in other females, and some males are only interested in other males. In some cases, females will even compete with other males for females, and this is really just the norm for Japanese macaques. These primates aren't the only primates to exhibit this behaviour, as it's also been witnessed in bonobos and chimpanzees. These animals are some of our closest relatives, and Japanese macaques help to prove that being gay is completely natural. If you know of any other animals that could have made it on this list, then let me know down in the comments below, because there truly are plenty of examples. But for now, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these, but until next time, goodbye.